All right, you're welcome back. Thanks for remaining with us. It is the rainy season and it comes with its challenges. And, well, the Lagos Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Commission, Hygienist Major, is in the studio with us to discuss safe driving during this season. Thank you so much for joining us. And good morning to you. It's been a while.
Yeah. You forgot me.
No, we didn't. You can be sure.
But you remember today, so...
So tell us, let's even set the stage. Why is it even necessary at all to be safety conscious during the rainy season, especially as a driver?
Well, the truth is that during rainy season, the hazard increases from what it used to be. Already when the roads were okay, you have not gotten it right. Now you have the water covering all over. And for places like Lagos, as we have witnessed in recent times, your guess is as good as mine, where all the flooding is a problem. And you just discover that you cannot even see the road you are moving on. You are just using your imagination to drive that you are on the day. So the hazard is like doubled during rainy season.
If not multiplied.
If not, yes. So we need to be more careful. For every pool of water you see on the road, it might just be marked in a ditch. And even coming to your braking distance, it also increases, that layer of water on the road increases your braking distance. Because each time you are driving and it's raining, then there's always a layer of water between the tires and the road. And if you don't have good tires, it becomes another, the risk again increases by another 50%.
Is that what you call aquaplaning, or is it hydroplaning? Now,
if you notice why we each time when we were making, during their campaign on good tires, any tire that does not have good grooves, that has worn out, because that grooves is like the gutter through which the rain, the water goes during rainy season, and you are driving on it. But where it has completely worn off, and you have something like a football, then you now apply your brake, then definitely
there's going to be a sliding or
yes,
something.
Exactly. Okay. It's going to really skid.
Well, when it comes to rainy seasons, it's not certainly the same when it comes to terrains in the northern part of Nigeria and the southern part of Nigeria, but there has always been rain. We're born to see rain. So we know the season to be rainy season and dry season. So what's the difference now? Why is it more critical now than it used to be?
More critical in the sense that even the state of the roads itself, I don't always like comparing the roads on these two extremes. That should be a topic for another day, because the road itself, I don't know whether you have noticed each time we enter rainy season, especially in this southern part, you notice that the potholes keep coming up.
Yeah,
it comes. So the topography has a lot to do with it. In the south and all these riverine area where the water the road is actually on a very low level and the water level is high, and you now discover that the road, the asphalt that we use in building our roads, it cannot withstand rain the way you think.
Is that not because people who are building the roads, the contractors, are cutting corners? The quality of roads today that are being built are not the same as maybe 30 or 40 years ago. You
are very correct. I recall there's a road in my village that transfers through Soka to that old road. If you go there, the old road is still there. But the ones that built this, so we over the years we have compromised so much. About the thickness of the road, what about the quality of the materials, everything, the substandard. We didn't, in those days, we didn't have anything you called collapsed building. It's only now that we started hearing collapsed building, collapsed bridges and all that. That's because we have lowered down on the standards of everything in terms of even the building materials that we are using. Okay. So during rainy season like this, as a driver, it calls for extra caution. It calls for more carefulness. It calls for being more defensive in your driving approach.
Okay, we often hear of weather forecasts. There are projections here and there. When you're driving out in the morning, what should be the first thought in your mind as you're driving out?
I think within this season that we are in, each time you are going out, irrespective of what the meteorologists have told us, presume that it will rain until otherwise.
Okay.
So get yourself equipped. by making sure now is the period when you now have to do total morning parade. Not the type you used to come out in the morning and you just open your bonnet and you check the water and the oil, bam, you enter and you start your vehicle. No, it now calls for more careful check on your vehicle. Outside those basic ones, your oil and your water level, please remember to check the wiper. And this is one thing that people normally, under normal circumstances, you don't check it. Then how about the electricals? Your electricals must just be there. For those of us that live very early and come back late. If it starts raining at times, you discover that it's as if in the afternoon, you may notice as if you are in the night. And in the rainy season, the caution is that each time you are driving and it is raining, you must see and be seen. Now, seeing and be seen is that your headlamps must also be working, your front light must be working, and the rear light must also be working. That rear light could just be the saving grace that would not allow that tanker following you or the trailer following you to ram into you. So it's important that you check some of these things. Your wiper, this is a time we always advise that you carry extra fuse. Because it might just be a few. That's why, as a driver, you must have little or biased knowledge of the vehicle mechanisms, so that when certain things happen, you can just easily. And our society is not necessarily.
Our society is not necessarily a DIY society, do-it-yourself society. Of course, we still have the sector commander, Lagos FRSC, right here in the studio, Hyginus Omeje, and we've been getting tips. Even, behind the scene on what to do with your car before you take off.
Warm the cars.
Warm your car. Don't take it for granted.
Sometimes are very, okay.
Guilty as charged.
She agreed.
So now, let's get to it. Yes. What happened last 2 weeks in Lagos, was a real source of concern.
Yes.
You saw this white man kayaking, and all of that. Now, when heavy rains, when you drive into that kind of flood, is it safe to stay in your car or get out of your car as quickly as possible to, for safety? What do you do in that kind of situation?
I'm happy you raised it, because if you've been following what happened last week on social media, you would have noticed, I don't know whether you read about it, a car that all the occupants passed out in the process during the lesson. And what simply happened was, and that's why when you see people take certain risks, I wonder, I don't know, whether they have spare life somewhere. Each time we have that kind of flooding we had last week, the best thing for you to do is just to look for a very safe place, that dry as maybe you can just get, park that car, and all the occupants should evacuate. What happened in that edition I read, which most people don't know, is each time a car is submerged like that, and even the exhaust is submerged, now, and this thing I read, to make it worse, the AC was still on, and all the glass is wiped up. What happens is that the carbon monoxide that was supposed to be going out, the AC will now be blowing
sending it back into the car.
And before you know it, everybody in the DC will pass out. It was the timely intervention of one of the occupants, who was the last to open the door to that and raised alarm, that made people to come to the help of others. They were just unconscious. They really find themselves in the hospital and say, how did I get here? So each time we have that kind of flood, please, it is not safe to continue driving. I have a Jeep, I have a whatever, that's not the issue. I've also seen where a flood, water is powerful. The force, depending on what you just say, if it's very easy, you can just carry that vehicle, you are turning it this way, it's going the other way. So the best thing is for you to just park that vehicle, disembark, and go for safety. Then another thing I want to say is, even before it gets to that level, each time you are driving and it's raining, and your wiper can no longer do the work that it's supposed to do,
even at the highest speed, please look for a safe place and park, because visibility is very, very important at this point in time. A situation where I've seen
our downfall drivers and this in using their hand as a
as a wiper,
to complement the wiper. All those things don't help.
Okay.
So
and we've all ridden in such buses.
Yeah, of course.
And like
those
I
times
said,
used to be
when we
these kind of buses.
started, when it gets to a stage also that everywhere is dark and you need to put on your headlamp so that you can see, and your rear lights also so that others can see you. And that's why if you are moving in the morning, like we said, please check the rear light. Most people have said, how do I know whether the rear lights are working or not? In the morning when you want to leave, use the wall where that car is parked to do those checking.
Okay, to reflect.
Exactly.
Using the two
or
side,
any member of the
two-
family can
using
come
the
check
two
for
side
you.
You don't need it. The man that made the vehicle has made provision for you to check all those.
Yeah.
Your right hand side mirror, if you press your brake and you are looking at the mirror, you will see the reflection on that wall. So if you didn't see it, you know that listen. If you also trafficate, you will see it. The same thing with your left. You use this mirror and you are looking as you are pressing and removing your legs. It will tell you whether those rear lights are working
or not.
If you put it on reverse and you check the two side mirrors, anyone that is not working, you will see. You will know.
All right. We don't have all the time, but we need to talk about the restriction of movement. Lagos State is preparing for the local government election in just about in 24 hours.
24 hours.
And there's restriction of movement. How challenging is that going to be for traffic?
It's really going to be a big challenge, but I just hope that most people who have intention of coming into Lagos on Saturday have been seeing the news and all, because TVC for one, you have always carried this movement or the issue of the restriction and the election itself, because there's going to be restriction tomorrow. Vehicles will not be allowed to operate from 7. Would have closed to 3 would have closed totally by 7. So about as early as 12 midnight, we would have positioned our vehicles in all.
How challenging is that really going to be?
It's really going to be very, very hectic for us, especially on the highway. You know, Lagos Ibadan being the major arterial route that carries vehicle in and out of Lagos, and all the economic activities of this country is like it originates from here. So it's really going to be, I can just imagine where the queue will be by the time we block Long Bridge, because we're going to block Long Bridge. We're also going to block entries, all the roads, access roads that comes into Lagos, through Ikorodu, through Ekpe, Axis, Badagry, all those areas, Lagos, Ibadan, all those routes will be closed within that period, because we're not, and also the major roads within Lagos. Also, you also see presence of security operatives. It's going to be a combined operation. We had a meeting during the week with the Commissioner of Police presiding and all the security agencies there on a train-the-trainer. We had to, remind our operatives on their duties during elections, and everybody were there, and it's going to be, we're all going to work in synergy. So you're seeing FRS, you're also seeing police, you're also seeing, of course, the military will always give a backup in things like this.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you very much, Hygienist Omeje, Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps, Lagos State. Thanks for coming on the program.
Thank you very
so
much.
Thank you so much.